When most people hear about the mafia, they typically think of scenes from movies like The Godfather or Goodfellas. What do these two legendary films have in common? Well, for starters, both are phenomenal movies that you should watch right now if you haven't already. And also, they both paint a pretty accurate picture of what it was like to be a member of the mafia during the early to mid-20th century. But there is one major difference between the world of organized crime depicted in these movies and the modern-day criminal underworld. For example, the mafia nowadays is broken down into different branches that operate independently from each other, but they still work together when needed. And these branches often specialize in certain activities, meaning that not all members will have the same rank within their crews. With that said, here are 5 mafia ranks that you've never heard of. Number 5. The consigliere. Ever since the days of ancient Rome, every emperor had a consigliere, a trusted advisor who would guide them on important matters. The term consigliere translates directly to English as counselor or advisor, and this is exactly what the position entails. In modern times, though, the consigliere is more than just an advisor. He's usually the second in command under the boss of a family, and he has ultimate responsibility over the family's affairs while the boss is away. A consigliere is normally someone who has proven himself time and time again. He has to be extremely loyal and trustworthy because the boss trusts him with his life and the lives of everyone else in the family. This is why if you ever get the opportunity to become a consigliere, you shouldn't turn it down unless you want to get whacked. Number 4. The caporegime. Straight from the Italian language, the word capo means head, while regime means regime or government. So naturally, when you put these two words together, you get the head of the government or regime. And this is exactly how the capo regime got his name. Back in the old days, the capo regime was a very powerful position, especially during the times of La Cosa Nostra. As you may have guessed, this individual was at the top of the ladder, along with the boss, underboss, and consigliere. But over time, the position lost a lot of its power. Nowadays, the capo regime is basically just a crew boss, which technically puts him at the top of the ladder within his own crew. The capo regime is responsible for the actions of his crew, and he reports directly to the boss. If anyone in the crew does something stupid and gets arrested, it's the capo regime who gets called into the boss's office and gets an earful. It's also the capo regime's job to pass down orders from the higher-ups to the soldiers and to bring any issues he is having to the boss. Just like every other position, there's some perks that come with being a capo regime. These include getting your own crew of soldiers to boss around, making a decent amount of money, and collecting respect from other mafia members. Number 3. The soldier. Most people know what a soldier is in the mafia, but a lot of people don't know that it used to be known as a capo mandamento. Soldiers are basically the backbone of the organization because without them, there would be no mafia. Soldiers are the ones out in the streets getting things done, whether it's intimidating a local business owner into paying protection money or whacking a made guy. Soldiers are the ones doing the grunt work. Being a soldier isn't as glamorous as you might think. Sure, you get to collect respect from civilians and other criminals, but you're also the one who takes the orders and does the dirty work. There are actually 3 types of soldiers, but they all do similar jobs. The first one is the piazza stigil, who acts as a bodyguard for high-ranking members. Next up is the uomo di rispetto, who is basically a soldier of honor. He's responsible for carrying out whacks, collecting debts, and maintaining the mafia's reputation. The third type of soldier is the uomo di fiducia, who works as an informant for the family. This guy keeps his ears open for any useful information he can give to the higher-ups. Soldiers are ranked below the capo regime and above an associate. Making it to the level of a soldier shows that you're truly in the mafia. There are some perks that come with being a soldier, such as getting to be part of a crew and making a good amount of money. But there are also downsides, such as being ordered to commit crimes and being looked down upon by society. No to the associate. Have you ever wondered how you get into the mafia? Well, the answer is simple. Become an associate. Everyone starts out as an associate, and there's no official title for this position. It's basically a catch-all term for people who work closely with the mafia, but aren't quite considered full members yet. Associates are usually friends of the family who do odd jobs for them. This could be anything from acting as a getaway driver during a robbery to being an informant in another criminal organization. Most associates are one-offs, but some families have groups of associates that they use for certain jobs. For example, the Gambino crime family had a group of associates that specialized in hijacking trucks. These guys weren't officially in the family, but they worked closely with them and were considered trusted members of the organization. To become an official member of the mafia, you have to go through a process known as being made. This usually involves being involved in a serious crime, such as a murder, and is often done behind closed doors. Not everyone who works closely with the mafia gets made, but it's a necessary step if you want to climb the ranks and become a soldier. 1. The underboss. Right under the boss is the underboss. He is the second most powerful man in the family and is often the one who helps run the day-to-day operations. A lot of people don't know this, but the underboss is actually the one who's in charge of most of the illegal activities carried out by the family. He's also the one who helps the boss make important decisions and often acts as a mediator between the boss and other members of the family. If you think being a consigliere is a prestigious position, then you must really admire the underboss, because he's even higher up than the consigliere. Now, you might be asking yourself, why is the underboss below the consigliere? Well, it all has to do with loyalty. The underboss is chosen based on his ability to do the job, while the consigliere is chosen based on his loyalty to the boss. That's why the consigliere always reports directly to the boss, while the underboss reports to the consigliere. The underboss is also responsible for maintaining the secrecy of the organization, which is why he's often in charge of security for the family. He's also the one who makes sure that any loose ends are tied up, whether that involves whacking a snitch or covering up a crime scene. Needless to say, being the underboss is a pretty powerful position. Not only do you get to help run the family, but you're also responsible for some of the most important tasks. If you're ever offered the position of underboss, then you should definitely accept it. Now, it's time to make your voice heard. Comment below which of these mafia ranks is your favorite. If you want to see more videos like this, then stay tuned for more content.